Vampires are one of the most mainstream supernatural ghoulies, along with werewolves, witches, and zombies. However, how much do you know? With such great interest from pop culture, dominating the idea of the vampire, from sparkly vegetarians to sex goddesses. What's the original lore? The first thing you need to know is where vampires came from. We think it's Eastern Europe in the late 17th century, where superstition and religion ruled the way people saw the world. One of the earliest stories of vampires is Grando. He allegedly came back from the dead, drank blood of his old neighbours, and sexually harassed his widow. He was killed by his head being removed. Dracula is the most defining book of vampires, setting characteristics we now most associate with vampires: their transformation into bats, an ability to cross water, having coffins for beds, not being able to order Italian food because of the garlic. Dracula is a novel for any vampire enthusiast to read. The legends of vampires didn't only manifest in Eastern Europe, taking form of demons and restless ghosts who feed on flesh and blood. In China, there are Jiangshi, undead dressed in queen-dynasty regalia, and Jiangshi would hop around hoping to catch an unsuspected victim and drain his childlike energy. The piece of paper, commonly seen stuck to his face, is a written spell used to bring the Jiangshi back from the dead. West Africa has Sesame Street, which is described as hairy with bloodshot eyes, iron teeth, and hooked feet. The creature would hide up in trees and wait for its victims to pass below, dangling its hooked feet down in an attempt to snare the unsuspecting victims to eat. Let's talk about real-life vampires. My personal favourite rumoured vampire is Elizabeth Bathory. She was not a lovely lady. In fact, she was quite sadistic, and arguably the most vicious female serial killer in all of recorded history. She was born in 1560, and was incredibly beautiful, wealthy, well-educated, and had a social status that most could only dream of at the time. She enjoyed torturing young girls, starting with servants and eventually overstepping the line with girls from gentry families. It's rumoured she drank their blood in a vain attempt to stay young and beautiful. Some even say she bathed in their blood. It is said that the fictional Dracula was based off of Vlad the Impaler. Stories of Vlad said he allegedly once invited hundreds of Russian aristocrats to a banquet, knowing they'll challenge his authority, and then he had them stabbed and their bodies mounted on spikes. He was also rumoured to nail hats to the heads of French ambassadors who refused to remove them. Once he held a feast for beggars and then had them burned alive, claiming he was saving the country from beggars and saving the beggars from themselves. But a monk who wrote about Vlad III and presented him as a fierce but just ruler, it's unlikely we'll ever know the true nature of Vlad the Impaler, but to think Vlad from young Dracula was so much less bloodthirsty, and he was actually a vampire.